Hey super friends, this video is all about curation. My collection has blossomed and grown more than I ever could have imagined, and I am so incredibly grateful. For those of you that don't know, we recently moved a few months ago, and we got all the books on the shelves, but definitely not organized. And it was very hard trying to find a place that had a room for us to have as a studio and a library. And it got me thinking, what if could I curate my entire collection as a challenge into just 4 squares? I'm calling it the 4 square challenge. I am going to go through my entire collection. I'm going to weigh the formats, the sizes. Do I love the art? But is the story one I'm going to reread a bunch of times? If I could only have 4 Calyx cubes worth of books with no cheating, so no double stacking like I'm doing now. You know, everything has to be organized in a bookshelf. What would my collection look like curated down to just 4 squares? So, let's find out together. Before we get started though, I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of the Brave and the Boys family. Go ahead and smash that like button, maybe share the video or leave a comment down below what books would be in your 4 squares. All that stuff really helps the algorithm. The algorithm is constantly changing, and every time we think we figure it out, they change it and make it harder. So that's the best way to get some eyes on the video. And the best thing you can do to support us is watch it all the way to the end. And if you do make it all the way to the end, there'll be a good gift card giveaway for you. So let's dive in. Okay, so we are gonna get ready. I don't think the Sandman helm is gonna make the cut. Oh, that's heavy. So I feel like there's a lot of factors I'm gonna have to consider in this video. One is like, is it signed? Do I have signatures that are nostalgic to me? How rare is a book? You know, like would I curate a book that's out of print, but I can't keep a book just because it's out of print. It has to be one that I reread all the time. So I got a lot of factors to consider, but I mean, this is double stack. I'm taking this whole collection, and yes, all of these books right here are probably not going to make the cut because they don't fit in a 4 square. But yeah, let's see how, you know, Marie Kondo, if it doesn't spark joy, it's got to go. So here we go, guys. I got my 4 squares, you know, and honestly, there was a time in my life when filling this up would have been a dream come true. So I'm feeling good. I think I'm going to start with the ones that have to be in there. You know, I'll see what I can fit in, and we'll go from there. I know that, we'll start with Desert Island books. So I have 2 Desert Island books, 2 books that, like, if I could only have them, it would be them. So the Mr. Miracle by Tom King and Mitch, soon to be an animated TV show. So this one has an amazing remark inside. I have to keep this. So
there you go.
This is not going to go well.
Start from the middle and branch out.
So move it over here?
Yep.
Okay, now my second, okay. Remember how I said I had two Desert Island comics? I have 3 Desert Island comics, okay? Here's my thought process. I'm gonna put New Frontier in now, but I will reserve the right to swap it out for the Compact Classic if I need to. So we're gonna I would love to put the Parker Martini editions, but they don't fit in a Calyx cube. And then third and finally, here we go. So my 3 Desert Island comic books for now. These are some of the most sentimental. This being a gift from my wife after hitting a year sober. I'm coming in on over 3 years now. Absolute New Frontier, the pinnacle of DC. So this was the easiest part of the challenge. Jordan, I'm not missing any Desert Island comics, right?
Day Tripper? All of Invincible.
Let's keep working. We're gonna keep working from. I'm gonna hold off on future absolutes right now, and come back to that. Controversial pick. I am going to definitely include Absolute Batman Volume 1. I think this is one of the coolest things that DC has currently, and I feel like I could just infinitely reread that. Okay. As for now, we're gonna move on to omnis. Omnis that I have to have in my collection. I'm looking for okay. This one. It's already getting hard. Okay. This one, and then I want Gotham Central for sure, which is see, this is okay. I keep forgetting that my collection is double stacked. So certain books might be behind other books. Batman by Tom King. I loved this run. You can see how many. This was my most wanted omnibus. This was a lot of people's most wanted omnibus. The problem is it's an omnibus and it's large. So I have deluxes. Maybe I could sacrifice this for one deluxe edition in the future, but for now I'm going to include it. Maybe I go character by character. So I'll start with Batman. What are the Batman must keeps? So
I mean, Quarter Owls.
Yeah, but do I want all of Scott Snyder Volume 1? That's a lot of real estate. And then Court of Owls. I could go absolute or I could go compact. Maybe I'll do the compact. Okay. We're going to start with these. I knew the compact comics were going to save my life. So we're going to start with two of these. Kingdom Come. If I have room in here, I'm going to upgrade this for the Absolute Edition. I think out of all the Alex Ross Absolute Editions, it's the best. Watchmen, I got to have Watchmen. And those are definitely going to be two that I keep. There's no Dark Knight Returns compact comic yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm going down here. Okay, I'm gonna keep these. This would be a lot easier if my collection was organized. I'm already starting to regret this. It's crazy. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 books, and it's already starting to look filled. We're gonna go for 2 right here. Do you think the 3 Saga Deluxes are more width or less width than the Saga Compendium?
Ooh. I think the Saga Compendium is less width.
Okay, you got to include Saga. Saga is one of the greatest comics of all time. Brian K. Vaughan telling a space opera, Romeo and Juliet, and with this beautiful, digitally painted by Fiona Staples. It is awesome. Okay, I'm gonna do the compendiums next. I can't keep every compendium, but there's some things I only own in compendium that I want to reread. So, Tom Strong, one of the greatest DC comics ever, and my most wanted omnibus is going in. Man, that's a chonker. Okay. I adore East to West, and it's actually, I think, one of the most rereadable because it's like taking ayahuasca and getting a glimpse of the apocalyptic future. I've read it all, and I feel like every time I reread it, I'll get something else. So that is Hickman with Dragotta on art. Dragotta is blowing up right now. So we got to have that one. Gonna have Saga. We are going to do a size comparison. Jordan, I'm gonna grab Kill or Be Killed, one of the best books ever. This was out of print and gifted to me by a viewer on the channel, a friend of the channel. I'm tempted though. So this deluxe edition, unlike a lot of their, every time, this deluxe edition actually extends all the way. Some of their other oversized don't. I think I'm gonna try for the deluxe right now. And we're gonna get top 10, which I love, and I can't afford the size of the absolute edition. So top 10, police procedural, East of West, the story of the end of the world in an alternative America where there's a bunch of different fractions. Tom Strong, Alan Moore proving he loves superheroes, and Kill or Be Killed. Okay, so now here are some that I put in a little pile. I love Daredevil. I don't know if I have room for a full Daredevil omnibus, and sadly, I can't do a gallery edition. So Daredevil Born Again might not just be the best Daredevil comic, but one of the best comics of all time. That has to go in, and this is a Marvel Premiere Edition, so it's a good size. Batman Hush and Court of Owls, carrying on. I'm going to look, there's one more Batman Finest I need Long Halloween, and I'm going to include those because Court of Owls, that's the story that got me into comics. Batman Hush, that's one of the most quintessential Batman stories, and it's just infinitely rereadable, and I'm not taking the space for the omnibus. Lastly, Nightwing by Tom Taylor. You know, I never thought I'd be happy about skinny DC Omnis, but the Bruno Redondo art is Eisner award winning. This comic is amazing, and Tom Taylor became a friend of the channel. So that is for sure. Now, this is going to save me. I have this Superman Legacy box set. This is what's supposed to come out for the movie, but it was late. And I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to take out, because actually, that Kingdom Come looks skinnier. So, I'll keep my compacts together. I'm going to take out All-Star Superman, one of the most quintessential Superman stories of all time. That Kingdom Come. Everyone except Supercorp. Sorry, Joshua Williamson. I just think that story doesn't stand on its own as well. So, and you know what? I don't need the fancy box. So, right there, I got the greatest Superman comics of all time and in the skinniest sizes possible. Okay, moving on. If I could only own one DC omnibus in the world, it is no question to me which one I would pick, but Gotham Central by Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka and Michael Lark. This is definitely going in, no questions asked. It is my #1 omnibus for both new and old readers. Okay.
It's right next to House of Mystery for you, right?
Do I own House of Mystery?
Own something.
Okay, is it cheating if I take my Sandman books out of the helm? I don't think it is. So
it is a format.
Sandman, not going to get into the politics or if you should support it or not, but I'm going to say a lot of other creators worked on these books. Let me check this though. So I'm going to be honest. I believe this one is Death. No, this is Overture. I might take out Death and Overture. Oh, actually, Death doesn't come in this. I might take out Overture, and just, you know what, for now, I'm going to keep the first 4 Sandman. So this is the first 75 issues. This is the story of Morpheus. Overture is the prequel. 5 is a lot of the prose stuff, but these, a lot less space than the absolutes. Sandman still being one of the greatest comics of all time, and look at how much less space those take up than the and honestly, like, Sandman's art is incredible, but I don't think it needs to be in oversize. Now we're going to grab a couple other ones that have to be in there, no questions asked. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which I have this awesome remark of, soon to be a major motion picture. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. This is one of my favorite comics I read last year. This is Dexter meets the Bernstein Bears. And lastly, my favorite Wonder Woman comic in the world, Wonder Woman Dead Earth by Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer.
So my copy of Wonder Woman Dead Earth.
Well, your copy of Wonder Woman Dead Earth doesn't have that in it, does it? But yes, Jordan did let me borrow the book, and I told him I was not returning it. So let's take a look at this. I feel like it's skewing very DC heavy, as we all knew it would. I think I'm going to focus on indie books next, and then see if there's room for Marvel. I can still swap New Frontier out for the Compact Classic. I need to keep an eye out for Long Halloween, because I definitely need that one. But as for indie books, I've been loving everything Ghost Machine has been doing. Their deluxe editions are awesome. They're a good size. Something is Killing the Children, my wife's favorite comic. I have this signed, and soon to be both a live action movie and an animated TV show. So this is definitely going in. So I'm going to start building off a little indie section. I don't have a lot of room left in this. If I could fit Rook and Junkyard Joe, I will. But I think right now, if I could only keep one, it would be Geiger and Something is Killing the Children. So let's think of ones I'm missing. I don't see Year One in here. I don't see Dark Knight Returns.
Year 2. Year 3 deluxe.
You will never see Year 2 or Year 3. This one's a trade paperback. Absolute Wonder Woman Volume 1 by Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman. And look at that. So that'll go next to Batman. And I'm not really vibing with Superman, so I don't think Absolute Superman is going on the list. Which ones are ones that I'll reread a lot? This is kind of crazy because I'm like rediscovering books. Like, man, I'd love to fit. Would it be crazy?
Yes.
Okay, now let me hear you out. What if I just do volumes 1 and 2 of Green Lantern?
And Blackest Night?
Blackest Night's in there, though. I don't need the whole Blackest Night omnibus.
But what about Peter Tomasi's Green Lantern Corps?
Okay. So, one that I found, Animal Man by Grant Morrison. Do you think my single issues take up less space? No, they don't. I need help. Animal Man, one of the greatest comics ever written. My favorite Grant Morrison comic. And if you disagree and think that's crazy, get in the comments and let me know. But Animal Man, great story from start to finish. It's got some time travel shenanigans, so I think it really rereads really well. So I feel like I can reread this every year, and I often do. This isn't going to make it on my list, but The Mini Deaths of Layla Starr is one that I highly recommend. There's no Year One Compact Classic, right?
No.
Okay. Can I just take one Absolute Edition out of my Year One and use that?
Absolutely not. Better hope you get
Chat, let me know if that's allowed. So I'll put that off to the side. I don't really care about Year Two, but it takes up less space. Thank you, friend of the channel, Gianni. This will take up less space than the hardcover. And it's the same size art, so 100% has to go in. Superman Smashes the Klan. One of my absolute favorites. Why do I have multiple copies? Oh wait, one's the standard size hardcover, one's the deluxe edition of Strange Adventures. Okay, so I got a little Tom King section. Vision is my favorite, one of the best Marvel stories I've ever read. The story of Vision starting his own family. This is written by Tom King. We are getting a premiere edition of this soon, which is cool, but it's not out yet. And Helen of Windhorn, amazing. And I has to go in. Man, I wanna fit some Reckless in there, but okay. What we're gonna do is, this is one of my favorite series of all time. What if I just grab one Calvin and Hobbes?
What year would you grab? What?
I don't know. Okay, it's stressing me out now. Why do you gotta make everything harder for me, man? Okay, we're looking pretty full, but these are ones that have to go in. Batman, The Long Halloween. Do not think I'm gonna be able to fit the Absolute Edition, so that's not gonna go in. I said screw you to your rule. I am keeping my one Absolute Edition because I have the deluxe. I could put the deluxe in, but this is signed by Frank Miller, so I'm gonna put that there. And then I want some horror for when Halloween comes around, so I'm going to include Ice Cream Man. With this being an anthology, I feel like the first volume rereads really well. And Hyde Street, got to have some Ghost Machine horror on there. So I feel like because of these are both anthology horror stories, I can read them a lot on Halloween. So let's go through my bookshelf so far. Let's see, how much room do you think I still have?
Would be able to fit maybe like 5 more books.
I'm gonna do something controversial. I'm gonna take out my Daredevil Born Again, and I'm going to put in Daredevil by Frank Miller Companion Omnibus. This signed by Miller. This is gonna give me, because if you look, where's Born Again? It is definitely whiter, but I'm getting Daredevil Man Without Fear, which I feel like, man, if I love Daredevil, I'd love to fit Bendis and Mark Waid, but I feel like Born Again and Man Without Fear read really, really well. So I'll take this one out. I need a little bit more Marvel. I'm not the craziest Marvel fan, but there is one book in particular that I need. One of my favorite. Okay, I found it. Okay, so this right here is, not counting Daredevil, this is my favorite Marvel omnibus of all time. This is Silver Surfer. This is Dan Slott and Mike Allred's love letter to Doctor Who, and I got it signed by basically everyone. So I'm very blessed to have that. Their little conversation back and forth. This is one too where they're flying. It's like very much episodic. There's an overarching story, but they're flying around outer space, and there's a lot of fun adventures. I can see myself rereading this a lot. Blankets. This is a memoir by Craig Thompson. It's got a awesome remark personalized by him. Just a master cartoonist, and one that deals with some tough themes, but I'm gonna get bored just reading superheroes. So something like Blankets, I feel like you'll come back to it after years and have, something new from it. How do you think we're looking?
Couple more trades maybe.
Okay. So now is when it gets really hard. Do you think there's anything do I have any controversial picks in here, or any things that you think are crazy?
Comment down below.
Yeah, let me know. What do hey, you know my collection better than I do. Is there anything crazy? Is there anything crazy that I'm missing? Can I fit 3 absolutes?
What if you only fit the first?
We're going to try to fit, okay, volume 2, volume 3. And I can't take them out of their boxes, right?
Nope.
I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it. Okay. If I rearrange... Oh, man, I wish there was a Swamp Thing omnibus. I've heard that we're getting one, but I think I can do it. I can fit it. I'm not fitting it, am I?
I don't think you're fitting.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take out Ice Cream Man, Hyde, and Vision. Gonna move these. Ooh, okay. So maybe they both don't go there.
And this is where we cut for the dramatic reality TV.
It's funny because actually I feel like these three absolutes take up less space than the Swamp Thing box set would have. And
Jake, don't cheat yourself. Put in the Len Wein as well.
I'm good. Do you think I should move this to another? Do you think it can fit up here, and then put the rest of Sandman?
It's gonna be tight, but I think you could.
I think I feel good about that. So, do you know what I wish I could have fit, but I feel like I don't have it. Oh, okay. Hold on. Take this out. It was meant to be. Okay. If I can fit these last 4 books, I'll be thrilled. So let's figure out how to do that. So success. Okay. So I'm going to have all of, only thing I'm missing is death, but that's okay. Killer be killed. I'll swap out for the Compendium, a great value. And this lets me keep New Frontier as an absolute edition. In fact, can I be so bold? Can I take out... Okay, moment of truth, guys. If these go up here, that is done. That is done. Okay. I spent so much money buying these out of print and they're getting reprinted. So y'all need to pick that up. I think I can... Okay.
You know what's missing?
What?
Spider-Man.
I mean, it's just like, I love Ultimate Spider-Man, but what else do I have Spider-Man in anything smaller? Like, I guess, okay, if you were to keep Jordan one Spider-Man, would you do Chip Zdarsky because you get Spider-Man Life Story, which is like, you know, like a full Spider-Man story, or would you do the first Ultimate Spider-Man?
I do the first Ultimate Spider-Man.
Maybe I didn't have Spider-Man because it was way over here. Why can't I like the Spider-Man by Todd McFarlane? It's so skinny. I forgot one. I'm so sorry. Murder Falcon. It's one of the greatest, if not one of my favorite comics of all time. The story of how metal can overcome all darkness and the power of music and friendship and family and overcoming things. I got room. Don't got room there. Would you drop Long Halloween down to the compact or ditch Sandman 5 and 6?
Ditch Sandman 5 and 6.
Yeah, I don't want to read the pros anyways. That means there's only one that I'm forgetting. I have no clue where my dual power bomb would be, right?
Oh man, good luck.
Okay. For the sake of time, so this video is not an hour long, I'm going to add Ultimate Spider-Man by Jonathan Hickman. I don't read a lot of Marvel, but this is one of the best Marvel comics I've ever read. So that will go right there. This is my official 4 square challenge. Now, let's jump into my final thoughts and see who I'm challenging to do this next. Okay, thank you for making it this far. This challenge was a lot of fun. I'm going to talk to you guys about what each book means to me. So, Absolute Batman and Absolute Wonder Woman, I think those are the two of the best ongoing at DC. The Absolute line is amazing for new readers, and those two have some of the best art I've ever seen. Geiger is the start of the Ghost Machine universe. I love everything Ghost Machine's doing. I hope to interview the creative team someday, and it's just so fun to see the best creators create exactly the kind of book that they want to tell. Silver Surfer, this is a love letter to Space Odyssey, to Doctor Who. It is Dan Slott and Mike Allred and Laura Allred firing on all cylinders, and I got it signed by all of them. Daredevil Companion. Now, everyone, this might be controversial. Yes, I love the Frank Miller by Daredevil Omnibus. I love Bendis. But what I love about the Companion Omnibus is it has Born Again, which in my mind is the single best Daredevil and maybe the single best Marvel comic ever written. And this also gives me a origin story with Man Without Fear, some other side stories, and it's signed by Frank Miller. Killer Be Killed, I would have loved to have include Criminal, but that's 3 deluxes. How do you choose which Criminal? Reckless is like 5 hardcovers. So out of, I love Sleeper, but that's an omnibus. Killer Be Killed, I feel like is one of my favorite Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. It started as a story of a vigilante and turned into an expose on mental health. Animal Man was one of the early DC comics I fell in love with. It's Grant Morrison firing again on all cylinders. It's an amazing contained story about one of the weirdest heroes, and you get to see a character meet their creator. Nightwing, my favorite character. Out of all the Nightwing runs, this is the one that had to be in here. I maybe even would take some things out when Volume 2 comes out, but this is an Eisner Award-winning run. Tom Taylor is a friend of the channel, and Bruno Redondo's art is next level. Batman by Tom King. I have this signed by all the artists, and it was my most wanted omnibus. Mr. Miracle, this book means so much to me, and now it's getting a TV show. It is a story about fatherhood, about overcoming trauma and depression, and becoming the version of yourself you always should be. Tom Strong, a lot of people say Alan Moore hates superheroes. Read Tom Strong, and you'll realize he loves them. Blankets is one of the best cartoon graphic novels of all time. It's not superhero, it's a memoir of the cartoonist's life, and it is just something different than anything else on this bookshelf. East of West, Hickman's ability to just tell a story with 100 characters and you care about all of them and feel something different about all of them is the story of the apocalypse and the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse and a alternative America. It's amazing. Top 10, another Alan Moore. I wish I could have fit the Absolute Edition because I have that signed and remarked by both Xander Cannon and Gene Ha. So top 10 is a police procedural in the world of science heroes. Saga, my favorite space adventure. Would have loved the deluxe editions, but this is one of the best comics I've ever read, and it reads so fast. I feel like you can read the first 20 issues of Saga just for the rest of your life, and I'd be happy. Then I have the best Superman stories of all time. All-Star Superman. Now, I think this works as a new reader, and I think it works even better as an experienced reader, but the stories of the final days of Superman. Kingdom Come, would have loved to have fit the Absolute Edition in, but I am happy I got something larger than the compact comic. Then Superman for All Seasons, another amazing origin by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Superman Up in the Sky, I would have loved the deluxe edition, and maybe I could have squeezed it in there somehow, but Superman Up in the Sky, this is Tom King's love letter to the Man of Steel. Helen of Windhorn, that is another, that's Tom King and Bill Quist-Evely. I love it and cannot wait for the library edition. It's just, Bill Quist-Evely's art is one of the best I've ever seen. Batman Hush needs no introduction. Would have loved the Absolute edition, but again, that deserved the Absolute, but it's okay. I could fit more if I got the compact. Court of Owls, I could have made the case for all of Scott Snyder Volume 1. I will say that I do think Volume 1 Omnibus is better than Volume 2, but Court of Owls is the best of it all. Watchmen, the one change I would make is if I had seen my trade paperback of Watchmen, I would have swapped out the compact. They're roughly the same size, and with the 9-panel grid, you do want Watchmen in a slightly larger size. It's just, we got to organize the collection. I've had that trade since I was 13. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, an awesome horror comic. Patrick Horvath, we are working on doing an interview sometime in January, February, so be on the lookout for that. Superman Smashes the Klan. This is one of my most wanted deluxe editions or absolute editions. I think if they were to teach one Superman book in school, it should be Smashes the Klan. Now, Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. I would be happy if there was an omnibus someday with either versions of the coloring, but this is just one of the greatest things ever written. Something is Killing the Children. I did sacrifice Volume 2. I think Volume 1 stands on its own as one of the best creator-owned horror comics of all time. I did do the first 4 volumes of Sandman. This is going to be issues 1 through 75. So this is the story of Morpheus. I did sacrifice 5, which was the prose, and Overture, which I love, but you know, I had to make some sacrifices. Murder Falcon, my favorite Daniel Warren Johnson comic, and it means the absolute world to me. I would see there's room here. That's for Do a Powerbomb. I just could not find it. Do a Powerbomb is the story of a young girl wrestling to bring her mother back, and it's amazing. Murder Falcon is the story about how music can get us through anything. Ultimate Spider-Man, I don't have a lot of Spider-Man on this list, but that to me is one, I feel like you can reread this volume a lot, and it's just such an awesome tale. Then my Desert Island comics, Absolute New Frontier. I did sacrifice the space for New Frontier. Darwin Cook's love letter to the Silver Age transition, the Golden Age transitioning to the Silver Age. JLA Avengers. This book just emotionally, intrinsically means the most to me. It was a gift for my wife. And in the absolute size, I hope they reprint it. And I did choose this over the DC versus Marvel crossover omnis because I think this story is better. Then I have Batman the Long Halloween, Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. This might be the best Batman comic ever written, and I did sacrifice the size to see Tim Sale's art oversized. I cheated a little bit. I did Batman, Absolute Batman Year 1 comes with 2 versions of the coloring, the old and the new. I chose the old version of the coloring because that's what I got signed by Frank Miller. Now, if you want to get in the comments and say I cheated, I have the deluxe edition, which is the same size, and I could have fit that in there, but I want the one signed by Frank Miller. Gotham Central, my favorite DC omnibus in the world. It tells the day shift and night shift of the detectives at Gotham PD and the crimes that they solve. Supergirl Up in the Sky, my favorite Tom King story about Supergirl. I was going to say favorite, but then I thought about Mr. Miracle. I don't know. I love them both, but I got that remarked by Bill Quist, signed by Matt Lopez and Tom King. Wonder Woman Dead Earth, another Daniel Warren Johnson, my favorite Wonder Woman story. Then I have Ice Cream Man for the horror spooky time next to Hyde Street. If I could only read, 3 horror comics for Halloween, it'd be Ice Cream Man, Hyde Street, and Beneath the Trees. Then I have Ultimate Spider-Man. I would have loved to have fit more, but to me, the Ultimate Spider-Man run is the most accessible. And I feel like every time a new Spider-Man omnibus comes out, people either love it or they hate it. And Ultimate Spider-Man, people I feel like universally love. And the first volume is the one I've read the most times. So I feel good about this. I want to hear down below, though, if you think I'm crazy, if you're shocked that certain titles aren't in here, if you think this is wild. And I just want to say one thing. I mean, give me a thumbs up. Am I in camera? Can the camera see me? Am I good? Okay. There is no one size for a library. I think a library can be a single book that means the world to you. I think a library can be everything that I own. Never compare your collection to anybody else's because it's yours. Trust me when I say I have struggled with curation. I have books that I might never read, and I don't know why I have them, but the FOMO in me or the collector in me, and, I definitely could stand to downsize my collection a little bit. That's what this taught me. Like, if there was a time when filling this up would have been a dream come true for me. So I'm blessed that I get to do this for a living, and I have more than I need, but this was such a fun experiment because you can read digital comics through Hoopla or the DC or Marvel apps, and I want to start being more selective about what I own physically because, I want my collection to feel like mine and not like just everything. So whatever size, if your collection is smaller than this, if you would say, wow, this is a crazy amount of books, I love that library for you. If you have a giant library and you could never imagine filling up just 4 boxes, I love that library for you. But see, what would be your favorite? What would be your 4-box challenge? I'm gonna throw out some challenges. Omar from Near Mint Condition, Dominic from the Comic Book Report, Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault, and any of my other fellow jabronis or fellow comic book YouTubers. If you have a Calyx, if you don't have a Calyx, I want to hear your 4-box challenge. What would be the ones you would, I couldn't do just a Desert Island comic, one comic. I can do that. But I can do 4 boxes, and I stand by this. I would be proud if this was all that I owned. So thanks so much for watching. I want to thank Panel Bound Comics. We have some massive sales going on right now for Black Friday. That'll be linked down below. We have a Discord. You can join and meet your new comic book best friend. And I want to thank Bat Daddy David for making me this awesome Batman shirt. Flip around and show the back. And tell you, keep reading, keep curating, and stay brave.